The excretory system is the process of removing metabolic waste, substances that are no longer useful to the body, such as exhaling carbon dioxide when we breathe, sweating, and urinating. In humans, the organs of the excretory system consist of the lungs, liver, kidneys, and skin. The skin is the outermost protective tissue layer covering the surface of the body. It functions as an excretory organ because it can release waste substance through sweat glands. In addition to being an excretory organ, the skin also functions as a sensory organ for touch and feeling. The process of sweat formation depends on the type of sweat produced. Sweat itself is divided into two types, thermal sweat and emotional sweat. Thermal sweat is produced in response to an increase in body temperature. This process involves a part of the brain that detects the rise in temperature. Once detected, the brain sends signals instructing the sweat glands to produce. Furthermore, the signals sent by the brain are received by sweat glands located throughout the body or eccrine glands. These glands then produce sweat, which is released through pores on the skin surface. It should be noted that sweat caused by increased body temperature consists of 99% water. That is why sweat produced during exercise feels more liquid and evaporates easily. Meanwhile, emotional sweat is produced in response to emotions such as anger, embarrassment, and anxiety. It is generally released in certain areas such as the armpits, palms, and forehead. Unlike thermal sweat, emotional sweat is stimulated by the brain to be produced by apocrine glands, which are found only in specific parts of the body, such as the armpits, palms, groin, and forehead. Apocrine glands produce sweat that contains fat and has a distinctive odor. This type of sweat often causes body odor, especially when it mixes with bacteria on the skin. The kidneys are the main components of the human excretory system, responsible for urine production. Humans have a pair of kidneys, each about 10 cm in size. They are located in the abdominal cavity on the left and right sides of the lower spine. Excretory organs, the kidneys function to filter metabolic waste from the blood, maintain fluid balance, excrete excess glucose in the blood, and regulate the balance of acids, bases, and salts in the body. Stage of urine formation. After understanding the organs involved, it is important to know how urine is formed. This process occurs in the kidneys and consists of filtration, reabsorption. The following is an explanation of the stage. Filtration. Urine formation begins with filtration. At this stage, the kidneys receive blood flow carrying water and metabolic waste. Nephrons then filter the incoming blood to separate toxins and waste products. The next step is reabsorption. At this stage, water and useful substances such as electrolytes, salts, and proteins are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. Secretion is the final stage of urine formation. It involves the removal of substances such as creatinine and hydrogen ions. This process produces urine ready to be excreted and help maintain the body's acid base. After the stress stage, urine flows into the ureters and is stored in the bladder. The lungs function primarily as respiratory organs. They also act as excretory organs by removing waste gases from respiration, namely carbon dioxide and water vapor. In addition, the lungs help regulate body temperature and humidity. The liver is located in the upper part of the abdominal cavity beneath the diaphragm and is protected by a thin membrane called the hepatic capsule. As an excretory organ, the liver functions to secrete bile, which contains waste products from the breakdown of damaged red blood cells that have been destroyed in the spleen. Besides functioning as an excretory organ, the liver also detoxifies harmful substances, stores glycogen, forms red blood cells in the fetus, and acts as a digestive.